and came out. Certainly, the defense stood out, holding a team like that type of an offense with that type of firepower to 6 points. Thought it was really impressive the way they communicated with passion, flew around, made some great plays. Thought Justin Herbert, the offense, made a lot of big plays, mostly in the passing game. Running game was inconsistent, but had a lot of bright moments as well, and had a chance to take the momentum of the game, lost it, then got it back and did it. So overall, pretty solid performance, and looking forward to getting better. Questions, please.
Have an update on Micah and his wrist, and CJ and Bryson.
Well, it looks like Micah hurt his arm. Obviously, he hurt his arm. The severity of it, we'll know. But it's a pretty good shot. It's everyone saw it on film. He took a pretty good hit there when he had his hand planted in the ground, so we'll know. CJ was more of a stinger. I'll update you on Mike as soon as I get it, guys. I just don't have all the info right now. CJ was more of, he got hyperextended, and so he just wanted to get full strength back in his arm. By the end of the game, he was back to full strength. I think Bryson got nicked up, but it wasn't too serious towards the end. And if I'm missing somebody, please let me know. But I think that's it right there.
All right, AJ.
Coach, you had, I think it was 6 sacks, 9 tackles for loss today. Talk about the play of the defensive line and how you were able to put pressure on that team today.
Well, it was key. We felt to win this game, we were going to have to take control of the line of scrimmage. And all those guys up front, the defensive line, the outside linebackers, even though we brought some pressure and had some movements or whatnot, a lot of the pressure was caused just by 3- and 4-man rushes. So felt they worked edges well. They went speed to power well, used their hands like they had been doing all week, just spent 2 weeks working on technique and fundamentals. And it showed up and put a lot of pressure on their quarterbacks. And sometimes they scored it out of there and got some yards, but other times our guys got them on the ground. And it was one of the biggest determining factors in today's defensive performance.
Front left right here, Matt.
You mentioned the offensive inconsistencies. How exciting, though, is it knowing that you won a game by 28 points and you kind of feel like you could have put up 3 or 4 more touchdowns even if you played clean?
Yeah, the one that was disappointing was the one down there in the tight red zone. We had a miscommunication down there tight and then settled for a field goal. Thought we'd go for it if it was 4th and 1. It was 4th and 3, make it a 3-score game. And then we missed a field goal as well. So that was disappointing because that really, if they come back and score, it's a 1-score competition, and we're giving them the momentum back. So excited about the explosive plays, excited about some of the answers. They probably played a lot more bare than we expected them to do, covering up the guards and the edges and then putting a guy over the behind the nose tackle as a zero technique. Felt that it's a short yardage and goal line stuff. They jumped into some of their gap 8 stuff, trying to out-gap you, outnumber you. And when we handled it well, it was successful. When we didn't, it showed up as well. So there were some inconsistencies, but, overall putting up close to 500 yards of offense and getting, over 50% on 3rd down. There's a lot of bright spots and a lot of stuff to build off of.
Second row right here on the left, Eric.
Despite the inconsistency, some really big plays in the passing game in particular. How long had you been waiting to use that flea flicker and then just the pleasure of how you did passing?
We worked the flea flicker in the backyard with those 2 guys right there, my 2 sons, all the time. That's I'm glad the old school in here could appreciate the old school flea flicker. That's it doesn't show up that much anymore in football, but it looked good. It looked good when we practiced it. We've been practicing it for a while and felt that we our guys were doing a good job getting off press coverage, and we were starting to get some movement up front and run the ball better. So we felt we could capture the eyes of the secondary and catch them maybe losing sight of their luggage and get behind them. Tremendous job of executing it, protection, great job by Jawan Johnson and Justin Herbert. The throw itself, the route, the catch, everything was just done, executed at a really high level.
Front left here, James.
To the big picture, I know there's higher aspirations, Mario, but you are now officially North Division champions. You know that you're headed to Santa Clara in a few weeks. There's still games to go, but to reaching that first goal and milestone that you set out for this program for this season.
It is, and it's something that we recognize in there because you have to. We know where we were 3 years ago upon arrival, this great privilege and opportunity that we've had. We knew the work that it was going to take to progress, and we're progressing. And the biggest goal of the week was to be 1-0. It just also happens to coincide with, a Pac North, title. So, but that being said, the best part about it, our guys, and this sounds like a broken record every time I come here and see you guys after a game, our guys feel like we still haven't played our best football, and that's awesome to hear. And that's why we look forward to getting on that film, getting better, and getting back to our 1-0 processes tomorrow.
Back left, 3.
Marcus Mariota was amongst everyone on the sidelines tonight, as well as a few of the other former Ducks. How cool is it for you and for the team to have some of those guys come back and watch you guys clinch the Pac-12 North?
Well, I could always tell when he's in town because it's the loudest the crowd ever gets by far, more than any touchdown, any sack. I mean, they go. So when the crowd goes nuts, I know he's there. I think that's the best thing that we can have happen for the program. I think it's the best thing that could happen for alumni. There is nothing, nothing like being a player and seeing not only all the greats, but seeing just family members, former Oregon Ducks, coming back and being around the program. I could just tell, as a player, I loved it to have those guys just sitting, right there, just looking right over your shoulder, and you understanding and realizing that those jerseys that we're using, we're borrowing those things, right? We're upholding the legacy of those that came before us. So I love it. Want to continue to invite them and see it much more. I think it's you want to talk about priorities that we have? That's one of the top priorities that we have as a program is keep bringing these men of Oregon and the women of Oregon as well, play the other sports, to just keep coming back and being around and make this thing stronger and tighter, because that, in essence, that's what makes it a great experience, and all these guys and student athletes deserve that.
Middle, Tyson.
Just kind of following up on that, what sort of relationship do you have with Marcus? And, you've been here for a few years now, and this is, he's come back several times, but just what's that relationship been like for you, kind of fostering?
I'm a big fan of the guy. I love ball. I saw him play from afar, and I've had the opportunity to meet him a couple times. I respect people's privacy, man. I don't like to crowd them or whatnot, but it's been a privilege to have gotten to know him a little bit and had the chance to speak with him a couple times. It's what everybody in here knows. It's a first-class guy, an absolute just tremendous ambassador for this university, for the community, for the program, for his family. His family get to see a bunch in support of Matt, as he plays out his senior year. So it's I consider him and an honor and a privilege to know them and to have them around.
On the right, Warren.
Mario, James took my question about the Pac-12 North.
Always does.
Congratulations on that. I want to talk about penalties. So you guys, once again, get stuck with those unsportsmanlike and the personal foul, late hit penalties. What are you guys doing to clean that up, or is that just so much passion now in playing this game?
Well, you always got to assess each one and look at it, subjectively, right? Get one on a kickoff return, which hard to tell when it's full speed because the guy's stumbling, he's close to being down or he is down, and our guy continues and launches and he gets there. That one, it's a judgment thing. The one that we had later on special teams, that's the stuff that's inexcusable and that can't happen. And so even though we've cut them down, we had 5 penalties today total as opposed to what we had last week, which is inexcusable, but 5 is still at least 4 too much, So there is some improvement, but we ain't gonna, there's no reason to pat ourselves on the back for that. We got to get that down even further. And we got to increase the consequences that come with it. Our guys know that. You saw a lot of guys today, and there were a couple times where our guys got popped right in the mouth now late after and didn't have it called, And I'm not complaining about the refs. I know what that brings, okay? But I'm just saying that our guys really took the high road and made it a point to play the best and the cleanest football they can. A couple guys didn't. We'll learn, and we'll go forward.
Right next one on the right, AJ.
Coach, it seems like with this defense, from one game to another, you never know which guy's going to step up and really shine. Today, I thought Bryson Young really stood out.
Yes, he did.
Talk about his game and his progression to get to this level he's at right now.
Yeah. I wish you could see Bryson Young's development over the past couple of years because this guy's special now. He just goes like 100 miles per hour. His heart is enormous. His passion for the game, for his brothers, for this place is off the charts. He's explosive, and he uses his hands really well. And that's what you saw tonight. He was able to get separation, shed blockers. He was able to get penetration on some of the stunts. He was able to work short edges in the passing game as well. He was all over the field, and then he's got a relentless motor. This guy's always chasing, getting to the football. So, everybody in that locker room is a big fan of Bryson because of what he stands for and the way he plays the game.
Right here in the
You mentioned several of the things on offense that were big bright spots, Mario, really inside the lines here. But on first down efficiency, I mean, over 6 yards per play on first downs. If you take out the sacks, that's even higher through the roof. And it looked like Travis did a lot of work between the A and B gaps, and that's not normally where he lives. Was that something that you saw schematically? You could just move the three techniques a lot?
Well, they jump into more of the odd stack stuff early. If you watch them last week, 2 weeks ago, their last game, when the second half came around, they jumped to a lot of odd stack against Oregon State. So you had to prepare for odd stack, for bear, for 4 down, under, over G. I mean, it was all kinds of stuff. So when they started going to their odd stack, their ends are a little bit wider. So you're able to kind of knock out the A's and the B's and still bring your split zone blocker and cut off the backside end. So you got a pretty good lane right there. And if they happen to spill that guy, Travis has got great hips. He could jump cut that thing and come out the back door. So those things end up being really good. We mixed up the formations really well. I thought Marcus Arroyo did a great job mixing and matching some of the stuff that we had tendencies on and kind of reverse those tendencies with the type of runs that we ran. And overall, we started getting better, with the run game as the game went on, and we got to continue that trend. We got to run the ball strong every time we get a chance.
Last question right here, Matt.
Johnny Johnson had scored a touchdown since Montana. How big was that for him, that second play? And just how big was that for your offense to have a quick strike just like that, second play of the game?
Well, number one for Johnny, awesome, because of, again, he's another one of those guys that his teammates love and respect him. The guy is a great football player and a relentless worker. And I think when you hit a play like that early on, it makes that defense back up. You create a little bit more of a cushion. Now, they were still pressed, and doing a bunch of stuff, but we still were able to find a little bit of some cushion there, like on Red's screen pass, due to a play like that, kind of sent, that's kind of like a warning shot across the bow when you go right away and you take a shot deep and you hit it. Very happy for him and really got the momentum going in our direction.
Thank you, Coach.
Okay, guys, thank you. Have a good night.
Again, student athletes will be available outside of this area, back by the elevators. We're all in here. Tidal wave.
I know if it was mine and I forgot, I'd be like,